Subscribe to SoilCup.
I want to thank SoilCup for giving me this opportunity to share my story.
My name is Dsouza. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm an author of a book called Fallen to Rise. This is actually my story of being someone who was once on the streets of Mumbai, a laborer who picked up cement and did construction work, to today being someone who's been inspiring thousands of people, whether they are students, whether they are corporate employees, whether they are leaders of organizations, CEOs. This is a little brief of my story, but the question is, where did my story actually start? When I was a toddler, and when things didn't even make sense, my father left us. He told my mother to go back to Assam, her native place, and said, I'll come back. 10 years, he said he'll come back. 20, 30 years, he never came back. And even today, whether my father's alive or dead, we actually have no idea. My mom single-handedly took care of us and loved us like crazy. She sacrificed her own life and took care of us. She got unwell, she struggled, she went through pain, was cheated by people, but she stood by us. She stood committed to us. When I was 15, I saw her struggling with her health. My sister saw her struggling with her health. My sister took up some odd work. She started singing, at a very young age. And how could I be left behind as a young teenager? So the first job I did was I used to pick up cement and do some construction job. And I was this frail guy who didn't even know, how to do work. And people used to tease me. People used to bully me. The senior laborers used to tease me. But somehow in my own heart, in my own mind, I knew that there was something bigger, better and higher for me. I don't know where that comes from, but somehow I knew that this was not the end. I knew that in the moment of decisions that we make in life, our life can change. The next job I did was I was into sales. I sold watches door to door, house to house, knocking on people's houses, selling watches. I remember I was picked up by customers who did not, of course, have any etiquette, and they picked me up and they threw me out and told me, get lost. And when you are thrown out like an animal, when you're just 16, 17 and you have no idea what to do. I still remember I was on the highway, on the streets of Mumbai, and there's heavy rain falling. And that day, I don't even have a penny to travel back home. And while I'm crying over there and there's rain falling and vehicles passing by, I made a choice that my past will never determine my future. I decided that I'm going to be committed to loving my family and taking care of them in any way possible. Did I do it perfectly? I'm not very sure. But did I do it? Yes. I consistently focused on learning things, learning from a lot of people over the years. I'm so thankful for mentors and people who guided me when I didn't know what to do. And after that, professionally, I used to work for companies like Wings, SBI Card, a channel partner of SBI Credit Cards. I became a territory sales manager in a short span of time, and I was promoted. I didn't know how to lead teams and I failed miserably. But at the same time, I learned a lot of lessons. I learned a lot of selling skills. And I want to tell all of you, if you cannot develop any other skill, one skill that you definitely need to learn is learning how to sell. If you can sell in life, you will never stay hungry. I learned to sell. I worked for SBI Credit Card channel partner. After that, I moved up and I worked for Grey Sales. I worked for that organization, learned a lot, made some mistakes and grew from there. I left that organization, worked for a company called Global Telesystems, which was in Mahape. I learned customer service over there. I learned how to communicate really well. I also learned how bad I was in communication that time. And I learned from a lot of people over there. I learned how to communicate with customers in the UK. I worked for companies like ICICI OneSource, which is now First Source. I became a trainer over there, started doing process training, technical training, learned over there, observed mentors, people who were really, really good at what they were at. I followed them. I asked them a lot of questions. I used to bug people with questions, and I'm so glad that people were patient enough and they listened and they were happy to teach me. Once I was working in that organization, somewhere deep in my heart, I started realizing that I was not just made to work only for one organization, and that my dreams started building up, thinking of, wanting to inspire thousands of people across different organizations. That was my initial vision that I had. And, we didn't have a lot of money, and I told my mom one day that, Mom, I want to buy a laptop. My mom said, why laptop? It's going to cost us a lot of money. I said, Mom, I want to buy a laptop because I don't know why, but I feel that one day I'm going to go around the world and I'm going to inspire a lot of people, and a desktop is not going to work for us. I need a laptop. My mom trusted me. She just believed in what I wanted to do, and she helped me to just buy the laptop on EMI. And I really struggled paying the EMI as well, but I paid it. I still remember my first computer was a Compaq, but I still was not inspiring and training people around the world. I was just working for one organization. After a series of events, I joined an organization called Synergies. Now that's the place my HR director gave me a lot of opportunities to try out new things, and I started exploring human behavior and motivation and inspiration, and I started building my skill. A lot of skills that I learned was self-learning, and of course watching a lot of people. After working there for 5 years, I realized that it was time for me to move out. I wanted to inspire the world, and I wanted to work with a lot of people across organization. My only question is, how do I work with corporates? I had no contacts, and how do I sell to them? How do I make a brand, and how do I build my business? There were two people who I really admired, who were in corporate training and who were in the business of inspiring. And I reached out to them and I said, listen, I want to do I want to do what you're doing. I want to inspire the world. How can I work with other corporates and start doing inspirational programs? Unfortunately, the answers that they gave me were not the most encouraging. I thought they will guide me because I really admired them, but they didn't give me a lot of answers. And I was very disappointed because I thought, those people who I thought would really help me, somehow I did not get the help, that I expected from them. But the question was, I was hungry. I was thirsty. And I wanted to go out and inspire the world. I faced one of my most difficult challenges in my life. And in the midst of that, I found an opportunity to do a series of seminars in the north of India. I took that up because I was also going through my own personal pain story, and I wanted to just stay away from the world, and I wanted to go to a new place. Why I did it, I don't know, but I just took that step. I took that gut step. I'd never been there. I started working with students. I started inspiring a lot of students. While I started inspiring a lot of students, I realized that I enjoy doing it, and students loved what I do. And then one of my students, his name was Lucky. His name is Lucky actually. And he says, sir, why not do something on empowering a lot of students? And the place where, isolate myself, I wanted to be quiet, I didn't want to spend time with people. That's the place where I said, why don't I start something which starts inspiring a lot of people? And then as a result of that, I started working with a lot of colleges, a lot of schools, a lot of universities, and I started doing motivational seminars for them. And somehow I started seeing that people started enjoying the seminars I started doing. A lot of them came back to me and told me, Bob, what you're doing is inspiring us. What you're doing is motivating us. It is helping us. And can we attend more sessions of yours? And then I started asking myself, hey, Bob, do you think you're made for something like this, like a motivational speaker who inspires a lot of people? I said, yes, possibly I could do that. And I started working with a lot of organizations, a lot of corporate, selling to them, making again a lot of mistakes, failing forward, falling to rise. Learn from a lot of other people, learn from books, learn from other authors, learn from podcasts, or learn from videos, got coached by people, and then I started inspiring a lot of corporates across the world. Today I'm glad to say that in the little span of 20 years working in the corporate industries, working in the corporate world, I've had the privilege of working with more than 28,000 people across locations. Okay, I've worked with more than 142 organizations and counting. I've worked with more than 6,500 students. My father is still not back. And we always waited for the miracle when my dad would be back. But today I'm glad to say that, that when I did not get a miracle that I expected, I'm trying to be a miracle to someone today by bringing hope, by bringing inspiration, by empowering people. I still don't know where my dad is, but what I do know is today I can be like a guide, a mentor, a coach, an inspiration to thousands of people across locations. I personally believe that each one of us, even at this time, can make a choice to say that I will not live as a victim, that my past does not determine my future, and that each one of us can write an autobiography of our life if you want to. My story is right now in a book called Fallen to Rise, and I will be glad to share with you that my story. That's my mom who took care of us, never gave up. That's my family. My mom never gave up on us, and I learned a big lesson from her. I'm going to ask you today, don't give up on your business. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your goals. There is big things ahead for you, my friend. I'm not looking to be perfect. I'm looking to be an inspiration to the world. Don't try to be perfect. Adapt, change, learn, find a mentor, find a coach. Go ahead, move ahead. The best is yet to come. Thank you so much. If you'd like to know more about what I do, just search Bobby Dsouza on Google. You'll find me. I also have a podcast called Bobby Dsouza Inspires on Spotify. I'm on YouTube. I'm on LinkedIn. Connect with me. If you want to invite me for an event, reach out to me. And if you just need help, you just want to talk with a friend, reach out. Thank you so much. Take care and see ya. Bye-bye.
I can't be no friends with no cap, 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 with no cap.